Alright, hello again. It's another, just again, regular garden variety azalea that's been trained for, I guess this is third growing season with me. I've had it for about 2 years. We get ready to deadhead it and then clean up the structure. Deadheading is the process of removing the flowers and the ovary to prevent the azalea from developing seeds, which will take energy from the tree as well as prevent it from setting up new flower buds for next year. In fact, by removing them, you kind of get a panic response from the azalea because it doesn't get the hormone telling it that it has successfully reproduced this year. So next year it's going to try extra hard to reproduce, and that's how you end up with, very dense, thick flowers year after year. So I'm going to complete that process on this, and then I will come back and show you what I'm going to do to just clean up the structure of this tree and hopefully continue it on its path to becoming a real quality bonsai. Alright, so now all the flowers have been removed along with the ovary. If you need to get an idea of exactly what I meant by that, there's a flower. And under there's the insides of the flower minus the petal. And right there is the ovary. That little bulb at the base of the flower. That's what you really need to be removing here. It's not even about the flower, it's about this, because this is going to suck the energy from the tree in order to produce seeds, because like all plants, its goal is to reproduce. Now it has no chance in that. Next year we're going to get a ton of flowers again. Alright, so the next thing to do is to go through and try to correct as many structural flaws as I'm comfortable with. This is a very young tree. It has a long way to go. So I might leave things that I wouldn't leave on a more refined tree, but I would be removing any dead branches or, as much as possible, groups of 3. Branches facing upward. Here we got 4 branches. Some of these longer branches, I could be cutting these back to bare wood and waiting for buds to pop back, but there's not much here that isn't primary structure, and for the eventual size of the tree, that's not a bad length. The initial pruning of this was really all down to threes or even less, because with it this young, there's not much risk of adverse swelling that's not going to be able to be, reduced, fixed, hidden. Anytime you have more than two branches emerging from the same place, you're risking swelling, but the younger and I guess less vigorous a tree is, the less risk there is of that. So, you may make the judgment to leave branches that you wouldn't ordinarily leave just to keep foliage on the tree. This year I think this has plenty of branches to begin going through and cleaning it up and not having to worry about weakening the tree too much. It's a bit of an odd set of branches here. Two that are about the same length, but they're both pretty vertical. I prefer not to have to wire azaleas. So I think what I'm going to do is just remove this one. Some more old pruning stubs or died off branches in there. Branch growing straight towards the inside here. Take that off. I think that's about good for now. There are there's a branch in the rear here that could be wired down, but it has an opposing branch out here in the front. Really sure where the front of this tree is, but I have a smaller branch here that could fill that same space, but nothing really over here, so I'm going to keep this branch. And remove the one in the back. I think that's pretty good. It's not a, this isn't a refined tree. It's not reflecting any kind of final design. It just has a good, healthy structure. It's set up to grow in a way that what's here will be able to be used in the future, and it'll be, you know, have an impressive show of flowers next year. I'll just let these shoots elongate this year, and I won't touch them until this time next year after the flowers, and I come through and do the same thing, select what branches I want to keep. The last thing I have to do is just seal a few of the cuts here using Callus Mate liquid cut paste. I like to apply it with a little piece of bamboo to avoid touching it with my fingers. These are all relatively small cuts, but it's always best to seal cuts. Generally don't bother when I'm pruning, say, this year's growth, but everything that I removed off of this tree grew last year and not this year, and it's lignified and woody. That'll do it. Thank you.